exhausted so far. We've still got 2 fights to go. Of course, this one, the undisputed World Lightweight Championship, the rematch from the 2012 London Olympics between Katie Taylor and Natasha Jonas. Welcome to the team, Joe. Welcome back again. And Ross, good to see you again. Joe, I'll start with you. The first thing, I'll say it, you said to me this morning, I came over, and you said, I'm telling you now, we're winning on Saturday. You're confident, you're excited, you really believe Natasha Jonas will make history on Saturday night.
Yeah, we wouldn't be here if we didn't think that, Eddie. Listen, it's good to see the bookies are giving Natasha a better chance of beating Katie than they did Terry Harper. Do you understand? That's good for a start. Listen, it's friends reunited. Katie Taylor, what can you say about her? Do you know what I mean? What can you not say about her? What she's done, what she's achieved. She's a national hero back home in Ireland. What she's done for female boxing, amateur for Ireland, and then what she's done for professional female boxing across the world. Just nothing but respect for the girl. But this is the fight business, and come Saturday night now, it's strictly business. Katie Taylor, she's the media darling, and Natasha Jonas is going into this fight after a great career performance. She won the WBC super featherweight title. Only 2 people in the world didn't think she got it, but apart from that, she's the world champion in my eyes. So we've got Natasha Jonas now moving up to lightweight, and here she is now going taking on what people are describing as the greatest all-time female fighter. Natasha won. Her style. This is a fight that if there was to be 3-minute rounds for women's boxing, this would be it. If you go back and watch their London 2012 Olympic fight, it was brilliant. But to show how much both of them have improved since then would have been better in a 12-2s or a 10-3s contest. Because for 10-2s, we've got to cut short the fight, and we're going to shortchange the pundits of seeing how quality these 2 fighters really are. We've got a 10-round sprint here, and we're seeing that with Natasha's Fight of the Year, Ring Magazine Fight of the Year last year with Terry Harper. So with that, we're going into this fight. We've got the bookies now beginning to side a little bit with Natasha. They're closing the gap. The judges are going to have to come and do what they're to do. They're not to be here in order of you, Eddie, in order of matchroom, in order of the event. They come here and score what's happening in the ring. Sky and the broadcasters have got to commentate on punches landed, not where they're from or what's going around. And I think sometimes too much is said when they're trying to commentate, like radio presenters. They've got to talk about what's happening in front of them. And sometimes nothing said's better. And I think let the action prevail. That'll talk everything else. Natasha Jonas is a strong live underdog. I'm telling you now, Katie Taylor, whether she wants to say it or not, this will be the hardest and most disciplined training camp she's ever had for any of her fighters, because she knows the serious threat Natasha Jonas brings. Whether she wants to agree with me or not, that's up to Katie. But I'm telling you now, with the sparring that she's brought in good Americans, Troy Anderson Jr., great kid on the amateur setup over there. They're absolutely training. They know the threat. Katie knows. So what we want in this fight is fairness by the judges, and we want the commentary to score on what's seen. Listen, I can't bad word Katie. She's absolutely fantastic. But what I'm going to say on the night, if everyone does their jobs, including me, and do the job, and Natasha does their job, I'm telling you now, we're going to have a new undisputed world champion come Sunday morning.
You said some very nice things about Katie. You have said in the media, just your opinion, that you feel that she's been hurt in fights. She doesn't have the same legs anymore. She's not as fresh as she was. Do you think this is the right time for Natasha Jonas? You think that do you feel that Katie Taylor's on the slide in the pro ranks? Is that what you're saying?
Listen, Katie Taylor had an extensive amateur career, and near the back end of her amateur career, listen, she had a few losses that Katie Taylor 3-4 years ago wouldn't have lost them fights. She's turned professional. Now, in the last few years, you can argue everybody, apart from a number of people, thought she lost in New York. We were there that night with Callum Smith. She's then come back, and then she's done the rematch with the Finn Pursoon, a lot closer than what people were saying it was. It was a hard fight. Katie's had an awful lot of hard fights of late, distance fights, and you know and I know, and this is what we're dealing with. I'm not talking bad at Katie because she's a media darling. I'm not talking bad and anything else. But if this was just a normal male fighter who people would think, Joe, what, has just gone to the peak and is just beginning to show signs, we'd be saying it, but no one wants to say it. But when you sit and study, you see things. Now, Katie Taylor against Finn Pursoon, round 3, she got buzzed with a shot, but no one picked it up. She got buzzed in another round against Christina Leonardo. But when you sit and watch and study intensively, there's things now. Keita, like I say, is a great fighter, but we've done our homework. We've got opportunity. I said to Keita has trained like a demon for Natasha, and we've got to see the best Katie Taylor we've seen for a long while, all right? But you've got to see the best Natasha Jonas. The Natasha Jonas now would stop the Natasha Jonas that fought Terry Harper. So this is it. We're coming, and all I'm got to say is sit back, not much to say, enjoy your popcorn.
Well, not much, we say not much to say.
Yeah,
You've done 10 minutes straight.
No, but what I'm saying is, I'm trying to say the point is education. Well,
Much more to say.
No, not much more. Yeah, not much to say. But listen, sit back, enjoy your popcorn, and enjoy what it is. It's the biggest female fight for UK and Ireland that there's ever been, and we're privileged to be part of it and to be able to see this event. I think it would never happen. I have to thank Brian Peters, obviously, for giving, and Team Taylor, for giving Natasha the opportunity. And we thank you for that. And like I say, we'll roll on to Saturday night now. Thank you, Joe. Natasha, before we come to you, Ross, over to you. On the slide, I mean, you know, the toughest camp so far, you know the risks. I mean, this is a tough fight for you guys, but fully confident going into Saturday.
I don't think I could compete with that long spiel, but we're just here to win the fight. We train hard for every fight. This is Katie's 12th world title fight. It's their 12th fight period, so every fight's a big fight. So we're coming to win. We're here to win Saturday.
Arguably, last time out, I know Gutierrez wasn't pursued, but one of Katie's sharpest performances last time out. Is that what we should expect again on Saturday?
Nothing different. I mean, she's going to be as sharp as ever. So I thought, you know, we looked great the last fight. We beat Pursuit clear in the second fight, regardless of what he's saying over here. Fight before that, we looked great against Leonardo. So there's no slide. You're going to see the best Katie Taylor on Saturday.
Thank you, Ross. Natasha, crazy how things work. Of course, you were chasing the Terry Harper rematch. You stayed patient. You didn't take any other fights. Then all of a sudden, the biggest fight in women's boxing presented itself to you. Massive opportunity for you on Saturday night.
Yeah, I think every time I'm asked to step up, I do. And I perform. Being the underdog for me is no different. I'm always the underdog on the big night. So the more you tell me that I can't do it, the more I'll prove that I can.
Obviously, going into the Terry Harper fight, although you come back with a few wins, people looked at the Obernorth defeat and maybe still tarred you with that brush. But how much has the confidence risen even further since that Harper fight? I look at all the clips of you and Joe, and you look like you really believe now that you deserve to be up there as world champion.
Yeah, you've got to remember that going into the Terry Harper, we'd just come off a lockdown. You know, financially, you know, didn't know when I was going to box again. I had the baby 24/7 because the schools was shut. And I was just in a bit of a pickle about where I was going to go, when the opportunity was going to arise. Obviously, we got that opportunity, and the baby came along to all the sessions, and she was a big part of that camp. And yeah, it was just great to be back, and I was starting from down the mountain kind of thing, mentally, physically, emotionally, and now I'm not there. After the Terry Harper, I'm at the top of the mountain, and I'm progressing up. I'm not starting from the low place that I was, building myself up to the Terry Harper fight. I'm starting at the Terry Harper and building myself up on that. My stats show it, you know, me body mechanics show it, my times, my weight, everything says that I'm well better than I was for the Harper camp, and I know I had to be there. When you
envisage this fight, when you think about this fight, how do you see it playing out? Do you believe you win this fight by stoppage? Is that how it plays out in your mind? I know that you say, you know, any means necessary, but I know that Joe feels that you can stop Katie Taylor on Saturday night.
Yeah, I think in boxing, you know, one punch changes everything, and I do believe I have power. I don't like making predictions. I don't want to disrespect anybody by saying that, but yeah, I do believe I've got the power to do so. And after the traumatic experience of round 8 with the Harper fight, I've promised myself, you know, that they are learning curves, and that will never happen again. So if I get that opportunity, it'll be the end of the fight.
Katie, welcome back, media darling, apparently, and, you know, undisputed world champion. This is a fight that's just continued to gain momentum. Of course, it's a fight that we talked about when you turned professional. At one point, we didn't think it would happen, but now it's here. You know, comments obviously from Joe that you've taken this camp seriously. I know you take every camp seriously, but you know the danger that Natasha Jonas presents.
This is why we're taking the fight, and we don't take any easy fights. I'm in this sport to fight the best, and In terms of training camp, our training camps are pretty much always the same. We train for every single fight as if it's going to be my hardest fight to date, and my mindset, my mentality just doesn't change from fight to fight. So, yeah, looking forward to a great fight on Saturday.
I know you've got great amateur rivalry, of course, everyone remembers the Olympics from 2012. Is that irrelevant at this stage? I mean, people talk about it, it's a great narrative, but you're both completely different fighters now.
Yeah, exactly. The fight was 9 years ago. You're right, we're both very, very different fighters now than we were back then. I think we've both developed and matured into great pro fighters, and I think the fight is going to be completely different on Saturday night than it was in the London Olympics. You know, what works in the pro game doesn't work in the amateur game, and vice versa, and this is a completely different fight.
You haven't got loads and loads of professional fights. You did have a huge amateur career as well, and Joe, as nicely as he could, said that he just thinks you just might be on that way down. Do you feel like you're in your prime right now in terms of your training camps? I know you put a lot into those camps, but in terms of your performance, you feel like this is the absolute peak of Katie Taylor?
Yeah, I think so. I think my last few performances have showed that as well. I think I've shown my best in my last few performances. Like Ross was saying, Leonard had a Pursuing fight, the second fight against Pursuing, and then my last fight were probably my three best performances as a pro. So I feel like I am definitely improving and getting better each time. Well,
thank you, Ross, Katie. Thank you, Natasha and Joe. And whoever's phone that is, let's see who it is. Spencer Oliver. Can you believe that, Spence? Bad form, bad form. So disrespectful to a fantastic fight, the undisputed lightweight championship. This is a momentous occasion. You know what? I think women's boxing has got to such a level, we don't even talk about women's boxing anymore. This is just a massive fight. And well done to everybody involved in this fight for making it happen. These are the kind of fights that we need to see. And I do believe on Saturday night you'll get a thriller between Katie Taylor and Natasha Jonas for the undisputed World Lightweight Championship. If we could have a head-to-head here, please. Thank you very much.
Okay, so now the face-to-face is complete. The fighters are going to fragment. I think Katie Taylor is going to go over to our colleagues at Sky Sports News, and I think Natasha Jonas is just going to join us live on our stream here. Tasha, there's just a mark on the floor there. We are still trying to socially distance. What can we take from that press conference there? Look, you spent enough time looking at each other over the years. I don't think it's going to be any different on fight week. But did you, I don't know, see anything when you looked into her eyes there?
No, I don't know how to elaborate on that. No, not really. You know, we've both known each other for a long time. It's not the kind of ego thing that sometimes the male boxers have. There's a lot of respect there, and yeah, we're just both two athletes ready to fight. That's it.
I mean, I've written down some of the things you said in the press conference there. I just wonder if you feel comfortable elaborating on it. You did think about walking away before the Terry Harper fight because life is complicated, especially in a pandemic. It's even more complicated. Just wonder how glad you are that you stayed true to the cause, and can you just speak a little bit about being better prepared this time round for this fight against Katie Taylor than you were against Terry Harper?
Yeah, I think, you know, it's about opportunities in boxing. Obviously, I didn't have any promoter, and I was struggling to get on shows because the shows had basically stopped. So financially, that was a nightmare. And then obviously the school's shutting and everything, and it was just a lot of pressure to keep the household running and going. So if there's no boxing coming in, then you have to fund it some other way. Luckily enough, I had sponsors that, you know, MJI, Construction Growth, that kept me going throughout that, and they believed in me. Yeah, they're all here.
Just pick it out on the front of the tracksuit there.
So you know, I'm one of the lucky boxers that didn't have to. and they helped me financially throughout that period. And then obviously when I got the opportunity, you know, I was never going to say no. I was jumping at the chance, and it was an opportunity I believed I could win. It wasn't just about, you know, financial gains. It was about, I believed I could beat Terry, and well, I have proved it.
Earlier in your career, Joe Gallagher, certainly in some of the post-fight interviews we did, spoke about that you could go up in weight, you could go down in weight. You were even looking at the weight below super feather. The world title fight came at super feather. No one's actually asked you this week about coming up in weight. In what ways will that benefit you? Do you feel any different now you're here on fight week? I know as an amateur you boxed up and down, so it's not a huge difference. But how do you feel throughout training, just carrying that little bit of extra poundage?
It's just, it's comfortable, to be honest, and it's just really £5 extra that you don't have to get off. So yeah, it's a weight that I've built myself up to. It's not just £5 of anything, you know. I've been eating right, I've been working in the gym with Johnny, and yeah, you know, I'm actually like biochemically leaner than I was before the Harper fight, so I'm bigger but leaner.
Yeah, that is interesting. I wonder, in training and sparring, you know, it's a lazy comparison, but sometimes we look at the heavier you are, there might be more power in the shots. Do you believe that you are punching harder at the weight above now at lightweight?
I believe that I punch hard anyway, to be honest. So whether that was at super feather or lightweight, I believe that I can punch. So yeah, we'll see on Saturday.
You might want to keep your cards close to your chest, but you did. Your team said that there are elements of Katie Taylor's performances where you do believe that she is slipping. Whereabouts are those areas? In what departments do you think she is declining?
That's the same question. You're just trying to get the answer out to me.
It's how many ways to skin a cat in my job, I have to say.
I mean,
and Joe Gallagher just punched me off screen, I have to say that.
Yeah, it's one of them things. I don't need to point it out. I think, you know, if you're a boxing fan and you've especially a fan of Katie's, that you'll be able to see that for yourself. It's not something that I need to point out.
Just finally, before I let you go, the whole thing about the way you've carried yourself around the bubble this week is just pure confidence that you're not playing poker with us. If there are any nerves, you're not showing them. You just feel that this is your time. It's time for you to become undisputed lightweight champion on Saturday.
Yeah, I think that boxing has a thing about timing, and just now's my time. I stood my ground and spat my dummy out and kicked off and screamed and about opportunities, and then I got Terry Harper, and then I didn't get what I wanted in the rematch, and then, you know, bigger opportunities come. So I just think now's my time to excel and progress and show who I can be.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for joining us. I'm glad that you didn't punch me and it was Joe Gallagher, but still, I just don't know what I've done to deserve this. I'm nervous and apprehensive ahead of Churches or a Parker now coming down. I mean, let's get the heavyweights punching. Okay, I mean, the guys are... Yeah, that is it, Tasha, Joe. Thank you very much.